collections that lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Hey, holla, Louisville, that fun sound always makes me thrill. I'll soon be on my way, and soon you'll hear me say, on your mark, get set, are you ready? Let's go, oh boy, head to Louisville, my hometown. Oh joy, speaking of Louisville, the weather's always pleasing, and there's another reason. Someone's waiting in Louisville, eyes all around. So I'm heading for Louisville, my hometown.
Hi everyone, this is Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop, and I'm jumping on this afternoon to bring you a very small thrift haul, but I have turned a new page. What do you think about that? Now, we'll see how long this lasts. You remember that in the very last video I was thrilled to tell you that everything, when I produced that video, listen to me, I sound like Cecil B. DeMille. When I shot my little movie and uploaded it, I had already, the day before, listed everything in the Old Curiosity Shop so that when you're watching a video, you don't have to worry about, well, when is he going to list it? Is he going to keep it? Is he going to hold on to it for a month? Did he already sell it to somebody else? And so that's what I've done again here. It's a small thrift haul because everything here is listed. Most of it I listed yesterday. It's all for auction and it'll last for about 7 days. So, do you like the new format when you get to see everything and know that it's already up for sale? Well, you can let me know. By the way, it's going to get chilly the end of the week. I think we're going to have our first evening or morning low down at around 45 degrees. So that's nice chilly fall weather. And highs only in the very low 60s. And so I'm getting ready at the end of the week to make some homemade butternut squash soup. I've got the mixing bowls out, and there's a squash I picked up from a local farm market. I might film that because I plan on making it with vintage 1930s kitchen appliances. Who knows, I may even puree the butternut squash in the milkshake machine. I mean, you know, why not? Okay, let's talk about what's here. Some of the things you've already seen. But as I said, they're now live in the shop. Here's a Hazel Atlas crisscross refrigerator dish. Sometimes the tops are blue and the bottoms are blue, and they could be all crystal, and sometimes they're mixed. The lid fits, and so here it is. It's from the 30s. There's the refrigerator dish. The dish itself is in perfect condition with no chips. The lid, as usual, let's get her up here. Top is in great shape. Even the outside rims are in great shape. We've got about 4 chips on the inner rim. You know what I mean by that, the inner lip. There's 1, and 2, and 3. Oh, wait a minute, where's the 4th one? And there's the 4th one. Okay, the 4th one, you just get a little bit of a chip that shows on the outside. That's the only chip that will show from the outside. The rest of them are all on the inner lip. And again, you've often heard me talk about chips on kitchen items, utilitarian items. It's a little different than a bisque or a Limoges cherub with 5 fingers missing. I don't think it's quite as serious. So that's ready to go. This, do you know what it is? Well, it's an incense burner. It's a Buddha, or a facsimile of a Buddha. And you would place the incense cone right there, light it up, and it was very popular in the 1920s. In fact, this was manufactured in the 1920s. It's made in Japan, and it is pottery. And we can see the Made in Japan mark right here. That is a typical 1920s embossed Made in Japan stamp on the back. We can see it's hollow, and it is an earthenware type of pottery. And this is all a beautiful original painted finish in fantastic condition. And so even if you do not burn incense, but you like exotic items or just something different from the 1920s, there you go. As a matter of fact, you know what? Hold on for a second. Hold on for one little hot second. There we go. Okay, he's holding a piece of ginger candy. I like that better. Here is a pitcher, a syrup pitcher. It's an early one, before the colored glass of the 30s. In fact, well, we're not going to be able to see it, I don't think. Oh, let me try to find it. There's a patent date, and it is right there. Let's just see what we can do. Of course not. Of course not. Okay, well, we did try. But you'll have to trust me on it. There's a patent date right up in there. Well, maybe we're going to get it. You see it now? I think it's I think the earliest patent date on there is 1915. So this dates to about the era of the First World War. It has a tin spring operated lid, and this comes off easily to clean so you don't get it all glooped up with syrup. You see, it'll just come right off. And I didn't even take a steel wool to this to try to clean it, leaving it like it is in case somebody wants the old rustic look. And then it just fits right back there on the top like that. So it's very easy to use and clean, and there are no chips in the glass. It's unmarked on the bottom. Probably made by Westmoreland. They're unmarked. But these salt and pepper shakers really date to the late 40s. Into the 50s, you know, Westmoreland did a lot of advertising in the 1940s. They'd been around for a long time, and they were making milk glass in the before the turn of the century. And they were using some of their same molds throughout their entire history of the company. But these elegant milk glass candlesticks, salt and pepper shakers with very nice, I guess they're stainless lids. I don't think they're nickel or chrome. And the lids fit tightly, come on and off. There's no damage to these at all. And again, 1945 to 1955, something like that on salt and pepper shakers. Here's a Hazel Atlas nut grinder. We've talked about these things before in a couple videos previously. Nice orange lid. Yep, there goes that old clock. Yes, that's the clock you saw me fiddling with a couple of videos ago, and it's still running, and as I said, I'm going to continue to let it run until the spring goes all the way, winds itself all the way down. But the clock is doing just fine if you want a clock update. I love the orange. It was probably orange up here as well, but it all has come off, or someone has taken it off of this chute here where you put the nuts for grinding. But I kind of like the look of it. Oh, you can see me in it. Hello! And this can still be used today. Let's talk for a second about Crackle Glass. And we'll get you out of the way. And we'll slide Mr. Buddha over here with his ginger candy. And we'll bring you up. I know, you're looking back there at that. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. But let's get this up here. And also this pitcher, P-I-T-C-H-E-R, pitcher. Which one is Crackle Glass? And how old are they? Well, they're both Crackle Glass. And yes, indeed, when this pitcher was manufactured in the 1920s, this was referred to and advertised as Crackle Glass. It had popularity in the late 20s into the early 30s, and it is an embossed crackle, whereas, you know, the 1950s, 60s, 70s Crackle Glass, the glass is actually fractured or crackled. That's not embossed, but this is. So This is a water pitcher, lemonade pitcher for a luncheon set. And you can see in the light. Now this does not fluoresce under black light, so there's no uranium in it. But I believe you can see the sort of a bark. It sort of resembles tree bark in a way. It has an applied handle, and there are mold lines there, as we can see. So made in a mold with an applied handle. A nice, big, tall, wonderful pitcher in great condition with no problems. If you like this kind of thing, you can find dessert plates, sherbets, there'll be tumblers to go with this. You can get a whole luncheon set. It was a popular, very, very early form of depression glass because it was actually produced in the late 20s. And so this is some of the earliest colored glass you can find that's now considered depression. I'd have to do some digging to find the maker. I can't recall at the moment, but that is beautiful 1920s Crackle Glass, which can be found very reasonably. And then this one here is blown. It has a polished pontil. The pontil mark on the bottom is where this is broken off of the blow rod, and then it can be rough or polished. Sometimes it's very rough and you'll cut yourself. That one's been polished. And then it has a blown, applied sort of wave decoration here around the rim. Very pretty glass. And this is much newer than this. It's kind of hard to tell. Probably mid-century on this, 40s, 50s, 60s, but we're definitely in the late 20s with this one. This I showed you before, but I have two of these, so I'm going to sell this one. This does fluoresce under black light, and it is a diamond optic, or sort of a quilted patterned vase. 1920s, don't know the maker. You see the spotlight up there, how it's connected to now you know how I get the beautiful light. I have a spotlight that I connect to one of my kitchen cabinets, and you see then I plug it in down there. A little hokey pokey, but hey, as I said, this is not MGM. And this one has some numbers on the bottom, but I don't know who made it. It's just a pretty depression glass vase. So we've gotten to everybody except these last two pieces here. This one I think I showed you before. I love this. I'm surprised I'm going to part with it, but you know, you can't keep everything. And I don't collect azurite blue or Delphite blue. This is more of a Delphite color, although I do not believe Anchor Hocking made it. It's in the 1930s, not really Art Deco, but it's a late 20s, early 30s shape to this vase. It is glass, and the color could be referred to as Delphite blue. It's opaque. It also has a polished bottom, but there are no mold marks on it. So if it was blown into a mold, they polished the pontil, and then they also polished off what would have been mold marks. See, this one here is cheaper glass, and we have the mold marks right here. Not mold that grows, you know, in a nasty basement, but from a mold, a two-piece mold. And you can see here are the mold lines right here. Well, maybe you can't see it. Where are we? Okay. You can see the mold lines right there. So it's not been polished out. In better glass, those mold lines are polished off of there. I don't see any on this at all, or feel any. And there's a somewhat unevenness to the top, which really makes me believe this was blown and then the pontil was polished. So I don't know who made it. McKee, Jeanette, Cambridge, they all made an opaque blue. Cambridge made the azurite, and you saw the azurite candlestick, which is a different color blue. And let me actually, now you can see where some of the things live before they get sold. But let's pull out. This is Cambridge's azurite blue, and notice the difference in color between what would be more of a Delphite, or some would call that a robin's egg. Hocking, or Anchor Hocking, called it Delphite. So it's a different color blue. This is for sale too in the old Curiosity Shop. So, and it's a nice tall 9-inch vase in excellent condition. Very nice. And then finally, everybody squawked at me because I wasn't willing to wait and get a price on this. There was no price on it. I'm kidding. You can squawk at me. There wasn't a price. Sometimes you have to wait and wait and wait. You know, you have to take it to the back room to get a price, and I didn't feel like it because I was in a rush. But you guys said, go back and get it. So 2 days later, I went back. It was still sitting there with no price tag on it. So I did wait and take it back and got a price on it. Probably Fenton. Fenton liked hobnails, and they liked candy dishes, and they liked crimped edges, but it might not be Fenton. It's not marked, so even if it is Fenton, it's not going to be the newer stuff. It's kind of hard to tell. This could be mid-century, 40s, 50s, 60s. It's in a beautiful emerald green color, and if you want to call these hobnails, call them hobnails. I'm used to hobnails being a little pointier than that. These almost look like bubbles or raindrops, but we're just going to call it a very pretty emerald colored candy dish. And I was thrilled to go back and get it, to be able to offer it to you in the old curiosity shop. There are no chips or cracks on it. And will it not be lovely at Christmas time holding your Christmas candy? I think it would. Okay, so let's see. There it is. It's all currently for sale in the old curiosity shop, except the butternut squash or those bowls. We're going to talk about that later when I make my soup. Okay, folks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel and the old curiosity shop. I hope everyone has a fantastic beginning to the month of October. It happens to be one of my favorite months out of the year. And there's going to be plenty more to come this week. So stay tuned to the channel. I thank you for watching. This is Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop saying thanks for watching, and so long for now.